Thanks for checking out this horror debate series video. So, if you're not familiar with this, I am arguing one side, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete is arguing the other side of this. And what is that topic? You saw it when you clicked on it. It is what is better, owning physical media or streaming movies. I am doing the owning physical media aspect of it, which probably isn't a big shock to a lot of people because you've seen that I've been collecting a lot of Vinegar Syndrome lately. Plus, you see all this stuff that I have in the background. So, I'm going to argue that portion. Although I will say I easily also could have argued for streaming because there are pluses to both sides. There are negatives to both sides, obviously. Obviously, with what I'm going to be talking about, it's money a lot of the times. Like, if you have a lot of movies you love and you want to own, it's going to be very costly as opposed to streaming. Also, if you're one of those people who's just kind of like, I only want to watch a movie one time ever. But obviously, I personally do both of them at the same time. I have streaming services, so just know all that stuff up front. But I'm going to give you my arguments, and what you need to do is finish this video out. Watch your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete's video channel linked in the description. And then come back to my channel, go to the community tab, and you can vote, if you want to, who you think had the best arguments for their side. Or you can also pick the tie option, because that's in there as well. If you felt like we both did an amazing job and you just can't decide, you also just don't have to vote. It's up to you. But hopefully you enjoy this. Also, we love the comments. We love the engagement from everyone, and it's been a lot of fun. So feel free to comment on these. And do us a quick favor, hit subscribe to both our channels if you like this video or any video we've ever done. And also hit the notification bell button, because then you'll know when we're putting up new videos. And Uncle Pete is doing some really awesome stuff. Especially the one that's getting a lot of traction now that he started recently was the Let's Nail This, where he basically takes kills that he gave really poor ratings to in his Nail in the Coffin series and has other people give their treatment to how do you make this better? How do you make it more than a one nail kill? Just saying. It's a lot of fun. And I was in one of the episodes, so just saying. But anyway, why, in my opinion, is physical media better than streaming? First point, your favorite movie is not always going to be streaming somewhere. I cannot tell you how many times I have spoken to people and they're like, oh, I really wanted to watch this movie and I was searching online and trying to figure out where's it streaming right now and it's not streaming anywhere that I can find. That's annoying. Not only is it annoying that what you really want to watch is not streaming, but it's also annoying that you have to spend all that time just to find out that it's not streaming. You can easily take care of that if you just own the thing, you know? And I don't just, for the most part, just purchase blind a lot of films. It's usually films I have a high degree of interest in based off a trailer before I've watched them. Or it's a film I really, really enjoy, and I know I will be watching more than one time. Also, I know another disclaimer for this I'm going to throw out there right now. I know there's some people who are going to be like, I illegally stream movies. We're not coming at it from that standpoint. We're going from a purely legal standpoint in this video. So, no, don't really endorse that. So, yeah. Anyway, my next point. You won't necessarily get the version of a film that you want with streaming, i.e. director's cut. There are plenty of films, amazing films, that have numerous cuts of films, or numerous cuts of that film, and it's purely up to the streaming service what version they're going to put on. They're not going to put on numerous versions of the film. They will choose one version. Now, you would hope that they would put the best version on, but if you have a streaming service like Tubi, which is a good streaming service to go to just because it's free for the most part, they have really crappy versions of films for the most part. One of the prime examples, I watched Death Promise on Tubi, and that version looks horrible. But Vinegar Syndrome has a version of Death Promise out there that I'm guaranteeing looks phenomenal, because that's what Vinegar Syndrome does. They clean it up super well and everything. So they didn't go and spend the money to get the good version. They just gave you the crappy version. So just another point. But also there are versions where certain content is missing. Case in point, well, no, that's not a good idea. I was going to say The Devils, but the version with everything in it is very, very hard to find. It's out there, but it's very, very hard to find. But if a streaming service could get a hold of that version, that would be a better version to watch for a lot of people. So the version you want isn't necessarily going to be streaming. You're stuck with what you get. Next point, you don't get awesome special features like a Vinegar Syndrome release. I'm sorry, I'm going to be talking about Vinegar Syndrome a decent amount with this. They have interviews, commentary tracks, and making of features as special features. So I have a few Vinegar Syndromes here I'm going to show you or talk to you about just from the standpoint of special features in these. So like Frostbiter. This is, I think at this point have a review up on my channel of it. If not, it's coming soon. I've watched it. It's a lot of fun. But this film, I don't really like the cover art all that much for the slipcover. But let me read you what special features are on here. And you cannot watch these on a streaming service if they have Frostbiter on there. Listen to this. Brand new commentary track with the co-writer and director. And moderated by a guy who works for Vinegar Syndrome. But here's the thing. You can't have commentary tracks, which if you're into that, commentary tracks are really cool. That's where you get a lot of extra information about how the film was going, in addition to those kind of like behind-the-scenes documentaries they do. This also has an interview with the co-writer, interview with producer, interview with an actor, interview with stop-motion animator, interview with another actor, interview with the sound editor. It also has a behind-the-scenes stills gallery and other archival extras, including a featurette with one of the actors, original promo video, original trailer, behind-the-scenes footage, footage from a premiere that the film was at, archival trauma introduction and promo video. I mean, come on. Like, if you're into special features and you want to know more about a film, you don't get that with streaming. It is basic. Streaming is so basic that if you want to know extra about the film, you're going to have to go and look online, which some people will be like, that's not a big deal. But if you want it in a more entertaining manner than just reading it online for the most part, special features are amazing. That's a lot, that's a lot, for nerds. Also, I want to give you this one as well. Spookies, which I love. I already took it out of the slipcover, but Spookies, I love. Love this film. It is a wonderful, so bad it's good film. Let me read you what they have. They have a full-length making of documentary that also includes a commentary track. There is another feature-length documentary about UK home video label that had originally put this film out. There was an Alamo Drafthouse screening introduction on here, a Q&A from 2015 with with a few of the actors and a production assistant, outtakes and bloopers, behind-the-scenes still gallery, theatrical trailer. I mean, it's not always the same thing, too. Sure, there's always a commentary track, but they have a bunch of other stuff. What do you get with streaming? You get nothing. Okay, so moving on from that point. Most streaming services are not willing to put on more obscure films because they don't think they're going to appeal to the largest number of people possible. Look at a streaming service like Netflix. They're trying to be as popular as possible, so they're trying to put the more mainstream stuff and the stuff that would appeal to people who are more into the mainstream stuff. That's why their horror selection, for the most part, is not very good. Yes, they get something good here and there, but they're usually films that have already done really well in theaters kind of recently, or they're bigger budget films. That's what they're going for, and a lot of them just aren't that interesting. For someone like myself, and a lot of other people I know, you're looking for deep-cut horror films. You're looking for horror films you've never heard of but are really awesome. You're looking for horror films that are so bad it's good. You won't find a single so bad it's good film on Netflix, in my opinion. And this is the thing. So in those instances, you basically have to have niche streaming services that you need to go to, but then you don't get a mixture of things. When it comes to your physical media collection, you can have all that stuff for yourself. When you're feeling like, I'm looking for more big budget and like great film, or I'm looking for low budget and so bad it's good, go to your collection and just pick out what you want to watch. Or you can purchase something new that you've heard is great. Just saying. I know the cost for some of you people, but I'm not saying, go nuts and just buy everything you want. Moderation. All right. You get to own a piece of art. That's one of the other big things that I personally love about this. The jacket art, the slip covers, if you're doing something like Vinegar Syndrome, Severin has some slip covers, Shout Factory has some slip covers. There are plenty of slip covers out there, and really cool ones too. Like I was just showing you, like Spookies. I mean, first of all, just look at that jacket art. That's outstanding. That looks phenomenal. But with this, you also got, if you got this version, you get a slip cover with it, which has different, amazing artwork on the front and some really cool artwork on the back. So you're getting 3 pieces of art here, 3 different pieces of art that you, every time you pick up this film, you can just look at and be like, man, that looks amazing. I really appreciate artwork and artists. So to have stuff like this, in addition to just loving to watch film, it's just this extra amazing bonus. You obviously don't get this with streaming because you have no physical copy. All you're going to see is whatever image they want to show you on the home screen before you select to watch the film. I'm also going to show you, for an example, the Hobgoblins one. Like, look at the slipcover artwork for Hobgoblins. It's amazing. It looks phenomenal. You know, the back is just a little something extra. Has significance to the film. It's not as amazing as the front, but like, look at how that green pops. It's phenomenal. It looks ridiculous. I'm just saying. Okay, then people are always looking for out-of-print titles, so you may be able to actually make money off of what you purchased if at some point you decide you don't want it anymore. That's the thing. When you're sinking money into a streaming service, you're never getting that money back. When you're sinking money into physical media, you can get that money back. There's a thing called eBay. There are also some other sites you can sell on, and people will be able to give you at least some money for it. So it'll basically be like, potentially, if people want to buy it, that you just rented the film, in essence. And it's going to be most likely less than the price of what you would pay to go see a film in the theater. So it's kind of worth it, especially if you're kind of like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. I want to downsize my collection, whatever. You can just sell it online. It's very quick and easy to do these days. And especially out of print, like I was talking about, a lot of out of print titles, especially like Vinegar Syndrome and stuff like that, can go for a good amount of money. And I do know people who have taken films that they bought at a lower price, then they were like, I don't really want this anymore, found out that it's out of print or it's highly sought after, and flipped it basically online for a profit. So there are definitely instances where your physical media purchasing can turn into you actually making money off it. Can pay for itself, in essence. Not always, but sometimes. And then the last thing, my last point, there is an inherent satisfaction in collecting things. If you love film like I love film, I literally will have times where I come downstairs and I will just look at my collection and just feel good about the films that I've collected because it's my personally curated collection for my taste. And there's a very high level of satisfaction for that. If you're one of these people like me, if you're a collector, you know that feeling. You know what I'm talking about. You know that feeling of just pure bliss and satisfaction when you look at your collection and you say to yourself, man, this is all for me. Like, this is all my taste right here. And then it's even more exciting if you have people come over and someone's like, hey, I want to watch a movie. Let me show you my curated collection of films that we can choose from. I don't know. I love it. I'm probably just speaking to a few people, but yeah. So anyway, those are all my points of why I think physical media is superior to streaming. And yeah, streaming's never going to go away. Like I said, I do use streaming as well, but it's just not as good, in my opinion. There's also just something about like physically holding a disc, physically holding the case and then taking the disc out and putting it in a player. There's something about that. It might just be a nostalgia thing because that's where we were when I was growing up. I mean, it started with VHS, but you know, VHS and cassette tapes is where I started, but you know. Anyway, that's it. Like I said, please be kind and subscribe to both of our channels. Hit the notification bell button, all that stuff. But really do thank you for watching this video and every video you've watched of mine and Uncle Pete's. And until next time, keep it brutal.